and welcome to another episode of Four Guys Talkin Sports, the podcast. My name is Luke Legrano.
I'm Ryan Hicks.
I'm David Exo.
I'm Lawrence Legrano.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode. Today we've actually also put out a Remembering Kobe Bryant tribute episode of Four Guys Talkin Sports. So you can check that out on our Apple Podcast, our Spotify, and our YouTube page. But that's just an extra bit of content. We got to talk about the life of Kobe Bryant and what an amazing athlete he was. And I think we all had a lot of good things to say, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yep, very touching. A couple friends from the show joined us too, so it was good.
A lot of great things said about a great man, so you guys can check that out. But right now, we have a full-fledged news episode to get to. So what do you say, guys? We'll get right into it?
Let's do it.
This is going to be great. We haven't done, we love our friends of the show here on Four Guys Talking Sports, but we haven't done an episode with just the actual four guys in quite some time, it feels like. We've had some rippers. We've had people starving to get on, gentlemen.
A long guest list, but it's finally come to an end. All right,
and
so let's go.
Absences from both Lawrence and I, so the four of us haven't been together, even with or without a guest in a while.
Are you taking pride in missing the show, Ryan? Jesus, oh God.
Oh, no, I'm taking pride in the fact
the flu.
Yeah, it's true. He actually didn't feel well.
I'm sorry. I was with my girlfriend who had just gotten surgery, so, taking care of others.
Now he's playing that card. See, he didn't tell us that, ladies and gentlemen. So now
That's the first I'm hearing of it. It was 2 weeks.
Now we're the bad guys, right?
Right.
Ryan wins again. There we go. All right.
You see Holly in a room listening to this? Because those assholes.
All right. Well, let's not waste any time because we have the biggest event of the world of sports coming up this weekend. This Sunday, the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs offense meets Nick Bosa and the San Francisco 49ers defense this weekend in Miami, Florida. Lawrence, we'll start with you. Who do you have taking home the Lombardi Trophy?
I have no clue. I have absolutely no idea. Because, like you said, it's an immovable, right? I mean, you have the San Francisco defense and you have Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to come down to that matchup and that matchup only. And if this kid can put up 30, 40, then, yeah, you say the Chiefs are going to win this game and he's going to outduel Jimmy Garoppolo. Or you can say that the San Francisco defense is a top 3 defense in the NFL and they're going to completely stop Andy Reid's offense and win this crazy low-scoring game. I'm so conflicted because any scenario that you throw at me for the outcome of this game seems totally reasonable. And I'm shook. I have no idea who to bet. I have not done so, even though the lines have been published for a week, 2 weeks. I'm really torn. I'm really, really torn. My gut said, when the lines came out, my gut said San Francisco's going to win this game because their defense is way better, and whatever Mahomes is, going to do is not going to be enough. However, the guy was down 10-0 in the AFC Championship game and won handily. He was down 24-0 a week before that and won handily. What can he not do? I don't know. I don't know. That's all I got.
Ryan, what do you think?
Once again,
sorry, Dave.
Sorry.
Larry and I are on the exact same page.
Who would have guessed?
I think I'm just
great
confused
minds,
by this game. It is. It's great minds. I think this game just kind of confuses me because I don't know if it's going to be a lot of offense because it could. So you could bet the over, but at the same time, the defenses aren't terrible, so you could bet the under, and both teams could win by a lot or a little. So I think in the gambling side of things, I'm leaning more towards players just because I can't make my mind up on the game. I think that the one thing I can see happening is if Kansas City comes out, scores early and quick, and goes up by, let's say, 10-0, 13-3, I don't know if I like San Francisco's offense enough to crawl back into the game. So I think that the 49ers' key to the game has to be keeping it within one score consistently. Because more than that, I don't know if that offense can ramp up that way. Just because they manage the ball well. They bleed clock. Who knows on their offense is going to have a big game. You flip a coin, pick the 5th guy on the depth chart, and they'll probably do something crazy on Sunday. So, I don't know. So I think that's the key to the game. If 49ers want to win the game, they got to keep it within one score the whole time.
bunch of hard-hitting analysis here in this episode today.
We're so lost.
I have no idea what's going on.
David, do you have anything?
I want you to listen to us about it.
I was going to go off what Larry ended with, saying that how they came back from being down 21 to the Texans and being down, I think they were down 13 to the Titans. But you spot the 49ers 10 points in this game. If they go up 10-0, this game's over. They're not coming back from that against this kind of defense. They just they haven't seen a team that has the defensive backfield that has the ability to run with their receivers like this team does. And the 49ers offense, they may not put up the biggest numbers, and they may not, fill out the stat sheet, look great on fantasy. Obviously, yeah, but they don't need to is the thing. I think Garoppolo attempted 9 passes in the AFC Championship game. Yep. They are extremely efficient in every scenario which they have the ability to be. Kyle Shanahan has learned from the years where he essentially blew a Super Bowl lead from the offensive side of the ball against the Patriots back in 2017, I think that was. He's learned a lot about the game, and now in a head coaching standpoint, I think his team just matches up better. They got more talent. Thing is, though, Mahomes could throw 5-6 touchdowns.
Well, all you boys have given your picks for this Sunday, and I think it's time I surprise you a little bit. We've got another round of QTS, but it's not quickly talking sports. It's quickly talking spreads. Yep, I actually have some very interesting prop bets I want you guys to give your take on. My sportsbook has 165 prop bets for Sunday. A couple of my favorite. So I'm going to let you guys
to put that together.
There are people who my friend Sean, his job is to make prop bets for DraftKings. So they hire people for this, and they came up with 165.
I asked Luke. I was curious what props were on his site, and usually his site isn't very good at props. And I got a 45-second screen record video of him scrolling, and after the third scroll, I was like, "Never mind. I don't care. I'll find something else."
Here we go. We'll start with David on this one. David, Jimmy Garoppolo and Patrick Mahomes combined completions on Sunday versus Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam combined points on Sunday. The Raptors are minus 0.5. Who do you got?
Who are the Raptors playing and where?
Oh, man, I didn't do my research.
That's a big deal, man. Come on.
Oh, boy. Guess who forgot to look that portion up?
And you picked that prop out of all of them? Can we get, props that people are actually going to be able to bet that don't have your crazy book?
You're getting none of them. You're getting all the crazy ones.
This is ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
This isn't
I think it's fun. I think we're in for a good time here.
I think I've taken Lowry
at home.
Who?
They're playing the Bucks at home.
They're playing the Bulls at home.
The Bulls at home. And it's Siakam and who?
Points?
And Kyle Lowry.
I'm taking the points.
Combined points? Am I
and then completions for the quarterback, yeah.
Definitely the points then.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Are the odds on that, tipped?
I think all of them were a little tipped or not tipped at all. They were all either minus 110 or they're minus 140 in even money.
Yeah.
Nothing was wild. All right. So everyone gives their answer. All right, cool. Ready? The Greek Freak points, rebounds, and assists on Sunday versus NFL total points on Sunday. Giannis is getting 4.5 points. Ryan, who do you got?
Points, assists, and rebounds versus what?
I'll take total points for the NFL game. Wait. It's points, rebounds, and assists?
Yep.
And who are the Bucks playing?
He's getting 4.5, isn't he, too?
Yeah.
He's getting 4.5.
No, I'm definitely taking Giannis then.
Yeah.
I don't think these are fair. I think these NBA ones are a little unfair here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, we're doing Super Bowl props, but you're not giving us strictly Super Bowl props. You're giving us Super Bowl props combined versus NBA game with spread, and there's no information.
Lawrence, round, you're awfully complaining a lot here. The Bucks are playing the Suns at home, and I've actually done the math here.
That changes my answer.
And 4.5.
I'm definitely taking Giannis.
So Giannis on the season's averaging 47 points. So if you think the NFL game will go over 51, which I'm not sure with this 49ers defense, that really reflects my answer. I do have $1 on Giannis though, because I could not put it.
That's not counting his assists and rebounds, and those are the other two, right? No blocks.
This one requires two forms of research, so it's going to take me a little bit. But Ryan, I'll let you start it here. Patrick Mahomes touchdowns on Sunday versus goals by Messi and Ronaldo on Sunday. Mahomes is giving up a half.
What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
Is there one for like the Blues and Canadians game and touchdowns pass?
We'll get there.
Oh my god!
This is incredible.
Explain these to us.
This is incredible. I'm probably taking Mahomes touchdowns.
David,
It's hard to score in soccer.
Touchdowns.
It's real hard to score in soccer.
It is
we're
hard.
playing Levante, who I don't know who that is.
It's only goals for the soccer players, not assists.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Mahomes touchdowns.
That shows you, though, how Vegas thinks this game could be very defensive.
Yep.
The fact that that's available.
All right.
Now we're putting these props to good use.
Now we're
Right.
On
Think about the mentality behind it.
on Sunday, George Kittle receptions against Iowa men's basketball points. Iowa's home against Illinois, and Kittle is getting 5.5.
Wait, the whole team's points?
Whole team?
Yep, whole team.
That's free money.
Right?
Iowa. Am I missing something?
Are you sure you're reading that correctly? It's not like points in the last 5 minutes.
Did I say reception yards?
Yes. No.
Reception yards is very, very different.
Okay. Yeah, that's the kicker.
That's receiving yards.
This is the best segment we've ever done. This is incredible.
So you're basically like over under 80 receiving yards. That's like what you're going at right there.
Essentially.
I'm taking receiving yards.
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Right? What do we know what Kittle's over under for receiving yards is actually?
I don't.
Last time I checked, it was like mid to high 70s. Last time I looked.
I think he's going under. I'm going to take the basketball team.
I would go with Kittle just because I think the KCD kind of stinks.
Yeah,
Imagine,
is kind of
you could have one big catch and cover that in play.
Yeah, true.
All right, cool. So ready for this one? Goals in the Manchester City-Tottenham game on Sunday against NFL field goals, and the NFL is giving up a half. Ryan, start us off.
Who's Tottenham playing?
Tottenham playing Manchester City.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Field goals.
Lawrence, you're not being fun right now.
Soccer games are like 1-0. I'm going field goals.
David?
It's tough.
It is.
I would go soccer. Because, looking at the field goals in the last couple games, we had a couple unders. We were doing that, 2.5, 3.5s. And that could totally be a 2-1 soccer game.
Putting my faith in Harrison Butker. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting my faith in Harrison Butker. All right. David, you're finally here, and I actually wrote down the ones for this one. I came prepared for this question. NHL goals on Sunday against Jimmy Garoppolo completions on Sunday. This game's a pick'em. And there's 3 games.
All NHL goals?
There's 3 games on Sunday.
I know.
Capitals, Penguins, Canadians, Blue Jackets, Hurricanes, Canucks. Yep. All 6 teams' goals against Jimmy Garoppolo completions.
I think that's free money on the team's goals. No, sorry. Yeah, team's goals, right. But I mean,
you're taking the NHL?
I would take the NHL. Yeah, you got 16 days of scoring against a quarterback that just threw 8 completions in the NFC Championship.
You're essentially every hockey game is pretty much 5.5 or 6. So you're essentially saying you're betting over 18 completions is what you're doing.
Yeah, it could be anywhere from 15 to 20 if you're looking at it that way. But yeah, he threw 8 last game. 8.
Oh shit!
Lawrence, do I even bother asking you?
Oh God, I don't know. That kid. I'm gonna take I think you take the NHL teams too. I think he's right.
I don't. I'm taking Jimmy G.
All right.
Okay. You're gonna make sure you find out what comes out on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Thank God.
Gotta make the game or something.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. I'll put $1 on all of them. I don't care.
Oh my God.
I put $1 on this one already. Total of the final group on hole 16 of the Phoenix Open against punts in the NFL on Sunday. And the NFL is getting a half.
What is that? What is that?
I don't know what the Phoenix Open is. I don't watch golf. I think that you guys knew what it was.
It's the
I'm boycotting the golf prop.
Oh my god.
Boycotting the golf prop.
The golf prop. I'm answering it. It's the entire field on finishing on 16 against what?
Yeah. Total of the final group on hole 16 of the Phoenix Open.
Final group.
against-
Way different. Wait, time out. Final group on 16. Go.
Hold on. Is 16 a par 3, a par 4, or a par 5?
That was my next question.
See, you're already. See, I figured you guys were the golf guys. I figured you had all this information.
We don't know what the fucking par 16 on a random course for none. I couldn't even tell you the majors. You think you know
Mr. Oh, come on.
You like the back of our hand?
You pride yourself
That
on your
was
golf
racist.
knowledge and don't even kid me.
Look.
I don't know what the Phoenix Open is, but you should. You're a
Look.
golf.
Find
I sure
the
hope
guy
it's
that knows
in
the
Phoenix.
most about golf in your contacts, and then ask him who his pro is, and then
Probably
tell
Ryan.
that pro to get his boss to tell you the answer to that question, and you won't be able to find it out.
It's probably
Unless
Ryan.
you played there 8 million times, you're never gonna know.
I'll ask Vat. When I get off it, text it to me, and I'll ask Vat.
Okay, so no one
You
knows.
won't know.
Okay, no one knows anything about the Phoenix Open.
No.
Okay,
I hope it's in Phoenix.
we're gonna let that one slide. Okay, last
What
one.
part is the whole? How big are the groups? we're fuck this question. We're done. We're done.
Okay, last one. I promise this is the last one I have.
Did a good
The
one.
Pelicans are at the Rockets. Zion Williamson points, rebounds, and assists on Sunday against Mahomes rush yards. Zion is plus 4.5.
Zion.
Yeah.
I would take Zion. Lay him 4.5.
Mahomes' rush yards are at 40 and a half. Or no, I'm sorry, 30 and a half.
Yeah, so I'd probably take Zion there.
I'm taking Zion. He can have 30 points.
Like 17 in the last quarter of the game.
All right, well, that was
that
the
it?
first. That was
No,
the first.
no,
and
no, it's
probably
not
last.
done.
Oh,
It's not done.
whoa. You got
It's not done.
You got another one?
While this was all going on, I decided to do some research of my own. And I'm going to ask you guys one final QTS prop, quickly talking spread prop. And it is the most popular bet we've talked about on this show since. Now, it took a little bit of digging for me to find this prop guy, but I felt like we all deserved to answer it. And Luke, I'm starting with you.
Okay.
Heads or tails?
Oh, it's gonna be tails.
That's all I got.
I'm pretty sure John.
Ryan-
I'm gonna
Ryan
call John
said it.
Franklin after this. I'm pretty sure John Franklin already bet tails.
Heads or tails?
Tails.
Oh no, I lied. It's Nick. Brian, Nick put $10 on tails.
Take the over on Demi Lovato
For him,
anthem.
This is the first.
It's like a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I mean,
Just, for your money back.
piece
It's
of
literally a 50-50 shot.
that was my favorite question we did on
There is-
quickly talking spreads.
It's the quickest.
I take it that was the first and last rendition of Quickly Talking Spreads. Is that fair?
Oh,
Or?
absolutely not. I had a blast.
I think I would bet heads, because tails never fails is the old adage, but the public is usually wrong in betting, so I'm going to go against it. Let's go with heads.
So guys, funny enough,
Most things we've done in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
the time on the anthem right now for the over under is 153. Now I don't know who sang it last year, but 2018 Pink literally hit 153 flat.
Demi
So-
Lovato's gone over 2 minutes on like 4 of her last 6, I think.
I think it should definitely be an over. She's going to, really try to drum it up. Plus, she's on her whole new anti-drug kick. So,
also,
There
I
is a
wanna
prop.
make it known-
I can't confirm this. I have to bring this up. I'm sorry, and I can't confirm this. So I should really figure out my source and say it on the next episode. But my coworker told me that there is a prop that exists, which is it's a yes or no, and the yes is like a big underdog. But it's will Demi Lovato enter rehab 30 days after the Super Bowl is over?
Ooh.
You could 1,000% bet that, which is how fucked up this world is.
who thinks of these things?
Right, it's ridiculous. It would never be on like a big name book. I'm sure it's like one of those overseas bullshit kind of things. But yeah, I saw it today.
I've seen some pretty crazy stuff on those overseas ones.
I want to make it known that my book has all of those props, all the crazy ones that we just did. They don't have either the coin toss or the anthem.
That is, what are you using?
What is it, copyrighted?
I have no idea. But that's the score bet for you. That's the score bet. All right. So we ended on Zion. Let's transition to some basketball news that broke last night. Trouble in New York, which is not surprising, but it's what we deal with on a regular basis as a Knicks fan. Elfrid Payton went after Jay Crowder as he took a shot late up big, which caused a massive skirmish, not nearly one as equatable to the size of that in Kansas, but a skirmish nonetheless. Jay Crowder went for a shot from three. Elfrid Payton just decked him. And then a massive fight broke out in between the two teams. Post-game, apparently there was news coming out of the Grizzlies locker room that they did not have access to their showers or hot water. So maybe a little Jim Dolan trickery there. David, I know you like to do some reading on this kind of stuff, and you're all about the fights that happen in basketball. So I'll let you start us off here.
I think something that just came out too. I don't know if you guys saw is both of those players got suspended for one game as a result of this. There was another player too. I'm not sure who it was, but on top of Crowder and Payton, might have been Morris. I don't think so though.
No, he got fined.
You got fined, yeah. So you got fined. So we'll figure out who the third person is. Not that important. Can't be that important if it wasn't in the headline of the story. I just looked at it on my phone real quick. So, yeah, I mean it's a bad look, and I think it's interesting that the fans at the end burst out in the sell the team chant. Since I think it was last season or 2 seasons ago, a fan got literally thrown out of the game and banned because he told Dolan to his face to sell the team. So now you got about 20,000 screaming New York fans also telling you to sell the team. What are you gonna do? Close the garden? So it's something. It's become extremely apparent to Jim Dolan that he's doing something wrong. And I think that it's just the culture top down. Things like this, if this team was winning, things like this would not happen. That's at least my take on it. I know there was a lot of give and take back and forth that went on the court. But I feel like this is just the frustrations of the season of a team that is ill-equipped to win in the NBA boiling over at a point.
David, I don't expect you to have the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Do you know how much time was left in the game when they started chanting "Sell the team"? Because I saw someone report that 48 seconds.
I assumed it was the last minute. Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure right around the time where the chant started, Dolan got up and left.
Correct.
Dolan did not finish the game.
Walked
You
out.
got to get up and
And
leave.
they started blaring music right after the chant started coming in, and Dolan got up and left.
What would you have done in that scenario?
I would do the same thing if I was.
I would have been chanting "Sell the team" probably if I was there.
David, David, here's the thing.
Dolan.
Oh,
David,
right.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
In James Dolan's shoes, Luke Lograno would get up and leave, but no one thinks like Jim Dolan. No one thinks like Jim. No one thinks to ban a fan for life when they say "sell the team," because they're going to get violent just by saying "sell the team." Ryan, I know you had some thoughts on this as well. I want you to kind of give your take here.
Same thing as last week. Jay Crowder, why do you think you look tougher? Because you hit that wide open three at the end of the game when you're up big. It doesn't matter. What playing hard till the end of the game? No, if you're playing hard at the end of the game, you would have gone up and thrown a dunk down. You would have drove the lane. Instead, you dribble it out and try to chuck up a three that you're half turning and good. He should have got knocked into the second row, and then the rest of the fans should have poured popcorn and beer on him. What do you gain from that?
New Yorkers probably would have.
I was going to say, Ryan's talking like a real New Yorker right now.
Excellent. I would have supported the hell out of New York for the first time ever for them doing that. It's so dumb. Jay Crowder deserved every little bit of it. He deserved to get knocked on his ass, playing hard until the end. You weren't playing hard. You chucked up a three to look cool when your team was up by 20. It's the exact same thing as last week. Dribble the ball out, and both teams can go their separate ways because nothing's going to change in the last minute when the game's already decided by 20. So I totally think Jay Crowder got everything he deserved. Same thing as last week. Just let the game end. Don't get your extra 3 points. The only time you can shoot that is if you have some form of performance bonus. It's the last game of the season, and you need 3 points to cash in on a $500,000 bonus. Then take that shot. Until then, let the game go.
If your buddy's got a bet and you're over under in points.
I don't totally disagree with you, Ryan, and it feels weird for me to be attacking the Knicks right now. The only issue I had with it was Peyton was not going for like you can block someone in like a rough manner. Like you can go for like a hard block. Peyton did not go for a block.
You're right. He didn't, and he shouldn't have. Because there's a difference. What Jay Crowder did was disrespectful. And if your team already lost by 20 and you let Jay Crowder knock down that 3, you might as well take off your jersey and never play basketball again because you've lost respect from everyone. The best thing you could have done in that scenario is rock Jay Crowder, take the 1-game suspension, and at least show that you have a little bit of fight left in it, rather than letting Jay Crowder hit that 3 and you look like a little bitch as you walk off the court because you don't have a fight to stand up for your team. It's totally different. He's not trying to in any way, shape, or form block that shot. He's trying to run Jay Crowder through the stands to make his team look a little bit like they have passion.
I'm not sure that that's the best thing he could have done, though, because right now all people are talking about is the Knicks look like a dumpster fire. That's all the people are talking about. People are talking about how the players are out of control. They can't win a game. The fans hate the team. The owner's incompetent. The Knicks don't look good right now.
All right,
it's all true, and it's all stuff that newspaper writers can publish because the Knicks are, an absolute joke. I mean, they see this and they attack the Knicks. What do you think they're going to do? Take a normal stance like Ryan? No, they're going to trash the team because that's what they've done for the last 20 goddamn years.
It is their job.
And Luke, Jay Crowder hits that shot. You know what all the reporters do? They take a picture of Crowder hitting that 3, and every headline is Knicks don't even have any fight. So it doesn't matter. You can't say what the media's going to say because they're going to paint the Knicks bad anyways. At the end of the day, for that player, what you're trying to do is at least fight for a job for next season and show that you won't just roll over. Because if that's a contract year for Peyton, he's shown other teams at least he has a little bit of fight in him. And 2, you're at least show some competitive spirit. At least show like you somewhat want to play the game. Don't let Jay Crowder hit a twirling 3 at the end of the game when you're down by 20. It's all pride. It's all fighting for your next paycheck and your next job and showing that you have at least a little bit of respect for yourself.
I'll say it again. I don't disagree with you. And again, I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm going to defend the team here. But I think the word competitive is not the word here. Just because at the end of the day, that wasn't a basketball play. That wasn't Peyton playing until the whistle, playing to make it look like even though he's down, he still got some fight in him. That was him shoving both his hands into a guy's chest and trying to throw him into that's malicious. That's what it is. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that wasn't the wrong answer, but that's not Peyton playing basketball and him proving that he's ready to come out. Yeah, he's sick and tired of being disrespected. And who wouldn't be if you played for the Knicks? I feel sick and tired watching the team. I'm not even out there on the court. So I just think that no one handled it right. There was no good coming out of this unless James Dolan sells the team. That's the only good that can come out of this scenario.
I disagree. I think Peyton handled it perfectly. Consider the circumstance. I think the best thing he could have done.
And James Dolan selling the team is not in any shape or way a realistic outcome of this meltdown whatsoever.
Cohen will buy the Knicks too.
That'd be great.
Is that gonna happen?
If Steve Cohen bought the Knicks, I think the three of us would have our own little personal party. We'd have everyone over. We'd just have a good time. We'd have a few laughs. All right.
You don't need Dolan to sell the Knicks to do that.
All right. Let's get into it. Lawrence, let her rip.
Mailbag.
nice little sticking around for it too, Lawrence. Good one. I like that.
Mailbag.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mailbag. All right. So let's get into it. Tom Kamel has 2 questions for us. The first one is, can Mahomes overcome Andy Reid's choking history this Sunday, or will this game be out of control? And I'll start us off here because
we don't know either.
I'm not done yet, Lawrence. I'm not dead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm not dead yet because Andy Reid can still choke away this game. And I think he will. I think this is, without a doubt, a San Francisco 49ers win. And knowing me, I just jinxed it right there. So everyone who's got money on the 49ers, I'm sorry. I just lost you your money. But on paper, this is San Francisco all the way. Andy Reid's going to lose this game. He's going to lose in another big moment. And Andy Reid goes back to having one of the worst playoff histories any coach has ever had in the NFL.
I would agree with the sentiment.
I don't know.
Thank you, David.
The best defense always wins.
It's unpredictable.
Best defense always wins Super Bowl.
But Patrick Mahomes is an immortal figure on a football field right now.
Well, if he wins, then there will be no one to argue that. But if he loses, it is still the same way.
Well, that's why I said total toss-up. It's a total. You can just see, but you can see either of those scenarios occurring. That's my point.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue. Help me.
Best defense usually wins, man. Almost always wins, actually.
I know.
Every Super Bowl I can remember.
That's why my gut said 49ers, but I don't know.
No, he's right. All right, the second question from Tom Kamel is, what do we think are some big issues that will be discussed in the MLB CBA, and is there a possibility of a strike?
Yes, absolutely. I think there's a possibility of a strike, 100%. Especially, so I think that the whole Mookie Betts situation. Yeah, I do too. I think the last 3 off seasons of these contracts are totally going to lead to a strike because the players all want guaranteed money, and now you see owners like the Sox, a big money team, who are working their asses off to get under the luxury tax. I think there's absolutely going to be a strike.
I just want to commend Ryan for coming out of the gate hot and being the first to step up and answer a baseball question on this podcast.
Yeah, baseball because of the whole Mookie Betts thing. So I'm invested now because I'm trying to figure out whether or not we're going to have the best outfielder.
Probably not. He's going to.
We're definitely not. The question is whether or not we're going to have a crisis.
The best outfielder in the American League already plays in LA.
That's true.
You're close.
Yeah, you got to.
Totally. A big part of the CBA that they're discussing is possibility of a universal DH. So I guess I'll ask you, Lawrence and David, the Mets fans, what do you think about getting a DH? And Ryan, I'll ask you the. All right, so I'll let you guys go first. Do either of you guys want a DH? No, Ryan.
I don't want a DH. No, and it's selfish. I've watched it my whole life. I love it. It adds a completely different element, to the game with double switches and I grew up a hitting pitcher, and you got Bartolo Colon's home run, which I'm sure David was going to bring up, but
yeah.
That, honest to God, was one of the first things I thought of. I was like, we will never, ever have a moment like that again if they go universal DH. And I think it's funny watching American League managers squirm at double switches. I think it's absolutely hysterical.
When they're playing the National League game.
Yeah. It's fantastic because they have no idea what they're doing, and I think it's like the simplest part of baseball of all time. But I don't know. I just selfishly, I don't want a DH. I understand, pitchers and all the new health concerns in 2020 and load management. Yeah, it's all bullshit. I want pitchers to hit. I want you to either be good at it or you suck and everyone knows it. And
then it hurts your team.
Right.
Your pitcher's ability to hit should impact the outcome of the game.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, no,
Ryan, I have a question, though. As an American League fan, do you know what a double switch is?
So isn't it when it's got something to do with the outfielder where you put a pitcher in the outfield to swap the batter so the pitcher doesn't actually have to hit, but you can have someone else hit, and then you swap out pitchers and put the pitcher back on the mound so the pitcher never actually hits, and you technically pull the pitcher from the game by putting him in the outfield for a hot second or some shit like that?
Well, he's definitely out of the game.
All right.
Like you're
close.
Replacing 2 players and then switching them on the field.
I was kind of close.
And in the lineup card.
Yeah, so I was close. Just skip the pitcher from not hitting.
You have to switch them on the field because they're in the lineup card on different positions.
Or
you get a real fat, motherfucker that's on PEDs to just walk up and fucking hit a dinger in your 4-hole. Yeah.
I think it's dumb, though. I mean, and honestly, the way I'm looking at it is if you want to take the pitcher hitting on a baseball, fine. Then have us have 8 hitters. Don't make up a position where you can just have this guy not play defense and hit the ball.
See, but it's so interesting. It adds such an interesting dynamic to your franchise and how you manage your cap and what is the value of a player who doesn't. Luxury tax again, because I'm a fan of a team that's violently trying to get under it. No, but it influences decisions. You can't tell me the luxury cap doesn't. But it does. It's completely. It's the luxury cap is dictating the Red Sox.
The luxury tax having an effect on people, but that doesn't change the fact that there's no cap. You can go over it, and you can spend as much money as you want.
Right. But it dictates and determines how people make decisions, so it has influence. You can't just say that there's no repercussions for spending money, because there is. And so now, what do you value a player who doesn't play defense and is hitting? And how much money do you invest that luxury tax. What value do you place? The luxury tax absolutely has implications to how you manage your team and your roster and the salaries that you pay out. And you have a player who's only playing half the game. They're really there.
That's the problem.
It's great though. It's fascinating. What is their value to the team? How do you?
Now, think about how that value will change now, having 15 more teams that need one.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
Because now you're only competing with 14 teams for a DH. Imagine if you're competing with 29 the way you would a third baseman.
It'll thin it out. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, if you don't have the ability to play defense, I think you shouldn't have value in the MLB. But like I said, maybe it's just because it's National League fan in me,
Yeah, but you
looking right now. We're looking right now at the one guy with the DH, thinks it'd be exciting if everyone had one, and the two guys without it is like, no, I don't want it.
Well, I mean, you're talking to a guy who had one of, if not the greatest designated hitters of all time, who won World Series in large part to the play of the designated hitter. So there's bias there. I've directly benefited from the position.
Do you not think that he would have played first base if there was no DH, though?
Yeah, but then you don't have Mitch Moreland playing first, or...
You're right. Your pitcher hits. You have to see Chris Sale go and take the bat in his hand.
Steve Pierce. You don't have these players.
Right, I was saying Chris Sale hits.
Yeah,
or David Price.
David Ortiz.
To echo Lawrence's point, this is totally selfish as to why I don't want the DH. It's because the Mets pride themselves on the hashtag pitchers who rake. That was literally our slogan for a season or two. Was the fact that we had Syndergaard and Matz and DeGrom and Harvey all put up fantastic numbers at the bat. So it's really just the Met fan in me that doesn't want to give up the DH. If I probably was like I don't even know what team I could make up that the Pirates. I have no idea. If I was a Pirates fan, I wouldn't want it. A Brewers fan, I wouldn't want it. But as a Met fan, I'd love having pitchers hit.
If you look at the impact it would have on National League teams, though, I think the Mets may have the biggest benefit of all of them, with players like J.D. Davis and Robinson Cano, who would do wonderful in a DH slot in 2021. In the past couple of years, if we had one, the results that we would have seen. So it's just, it's an interesting optic, but I still don't want, even if it would benefit our team in the game's outcomes. I think it's wrong, and it's a mockery of the sport.
Sacrilege.
It is sacrilege.
All right.
At every level of baseball, your pitcher hits. Little league, middle school, high school, college, not in the American League.
You use metal bats up until college, too. Do you want to start having major league players use metal bats?
Well, that's just unrealistic. People will die.
All right, let's get moving. Chris Miranda actually has two questions as well, so let's get into his first one. How much money is enough money to get punched in the gut by Mike Tyson in his prime?
Oh, dear God.
Enough to never work again.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm not starting the bidding below
pay the medical bills. For all
I'm not starting the bidding below seven figures. It's at least
starting before 8. So
yeah, a lot. Definitely a lot.
$1 million north.
10 mil is the minimum for me, at least. We could argue 9, but I want 10.
I'd wear all medical expenses paid. I'd wear it for $1 million straight cash.
Yeah, probably.
That's on top of your medical expenses.
Correct. The $1 million. Yeah. Honestly, that sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, okay. I'm down with that. All right. And his second question is, between football, baseball, and basketball, rank these sports in America right now 1 to 3, and how does it change in 10 years?
In the entire country as a whole?
Can you repeat the question?
Correct. Yes, David, that's correct. So the question is, football, baseball, basketball are the 1 to 3 top sports in the USA right now. How does it change in 10 years?
I don't think it changes in 10 years.
If anything, I think I'm assuming is the order football, basketball, baseball?
Or trying to rank.
He has them at football, baseball, basketball. I'd argue switch basketball.
That's what I would have said too. Baseball is 2.
If baseball's 2, basketball becomes 2 in the next 10 years.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know about 10 years, but it's definitely on the trajectory. And I think in 50, 60 years, maybe basketball's even 1.
Absolutely. I was going to say, in 10 years, I can see basketball being 1. I think there's an argument right now that basketball's 1. It's probably not at this very second.
Absolutely not. The NFL is a giant.
You could make an argument that it's 2. And honestly, I think 5 years ago, it probably was 2. But the 2-3 years ago, we had this resurgence of the Aaron Judge type players, and all these young hitters coming up and hitting, and we got all these young pitchers. Baseball has really made a comeback the past 2 years. Now this cheating scandal, I don't know what it's going to do to it. Steroids really hurt baseball though, and basketball took a huge advantage from that opportunity, and they're covered way more nationally than baseball is. So honestly, you could argue that basketball is the two at this point. Not like if you were to go on the street and ask a kid who Mike Trout is or who LeBron James is, they're going to tell you they know who LeBron James is, not Mike Trout.
True.
But basketball is also a star-driven league. It's not so much following your team or your city. You're more following Kobe Bryant or following LeBron James or what's Steph Curry doing? Oh my God, Kyrie Irving's a net. Things like that. Where baseball, it's I'm going to sit down at 7 o'clock and watch the Mets game.
Right.
So it's a very different dynamic. I do think the baseball will stay as 2 though across these 10 years. Even if basketball is 2 right now, baseball will come out as number 2.
I think that's the only thing I disagree with you there, Dave. I think you made a fantastic point all across the board right there. But I think right now basketball is 2, just because of the sheer star power of basketball. And you see how widely Kobe Bryant, as we talked today, affected everybody. And that's the sport of basketball right there. Everyone knows who Kobe Bryant is. Not everyone knows who Aaron Judge is, even though not everyone knows who Mike Trout is. Mike Trout's one of the best players of all time. So I think basketball stays there. And I think if you give basketball 10 to 20 years, it could easily be number 1.
Do you know what the 4 most viewed sporting games, or sorry, not sporting games, just TV shows in 2019 were?
Oh, you've told me this before, but I forget.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl's definitely number 1.
World Series Game 7.
That was number 2.
World Series
Big Bang
Game
Theory.
6.
That was number 3.
ALCS.
And the 4th one is not a sports event. The 4th one was not a sporting event.
Grammys, Oscars, award show.
No, it was actually the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yes. Shit.
Yeah, we've been over that before. You definitely quizzed me on that before. All right.
So, I mean, the NBA went to 6, or was it 7? That the Raptors won. I think it was 6.
6.
But you also have to hold on. You also have to think of, though, 1, you're talking about a Canadian team in the championship with the Raptors, and 2, the baseball World Series is played in October, which is not the height of football or of basketball, and basketball is
June.
Battling.
Wow. I mean, they play in June. There's nothing going on, man.
This probably didn't have as much as an effect either, but also don't forget that championship had a Golden State team, which everyone revels over, that didn't have Clay or KD, which are 2 of the top 10 most popular players in the NBA right now.
Something I think is going to hurt basketball, though, to come is the lack of the Warriors dynasty, because people watched to see them. Like my interest in the NBA the past 4 years was the Warriors and seeing how they did. Now that they're not around, it's kind of boring. I mean, like when LeBron retires in 2 years, it's going to be really boring. Unless Zion is this, the next LeBron James, which right now it doesn't look that way.
Yeah, we'll have to see. All right, let's move on here. John Franklin wants to know, is Joe Burrow actually going to be an elite quarterback, or is he set up to be a bust?
Well, Marvin Lewis isn't coaching the team anymore, so automatic bust may be out of the question. Finally.
I think he will be elite. Not off the bat. It's going to take 2-3 years.
Yeah, he could be.
I think we're going to see this really weird thing with Joe Burrow, where I could see Joe Burrow coming out the gate really hot and winning 7 or 8 games, and then kind of. I think it's the same thing as Darnold. I think you need to give this guy his time because he's easily the number 1 quarterback in this draft. That's not even a question.
Tua just hurt.
I think Joe.
A healthy Tua. Are you still saying that?
Yeah.
Though.
I might be. Yeah, I'd definitely think about it. If not, yes. But the whole point of being the number 1 quarterback is you go to the worst team. So patience is really something I feel like you need to preach with Joe Burrow on this one.
I think honestly the Bengals have a decent shot to make the playoffs next year. I know y'all are going to look at it like 3 heads. But the AFC kind of stinks, man. There's not a lot of good teams in the AFC anymore. And you give him a rebuilt O-line, which they missed 3 starters this year, or 3 guys that were banged up throughout the season. You give him A.J. Green back. Joe Mixon's a very talented running back. And if they put something together on defense, they could definitely win 10 games. Playing against the likes of the Browns that are going downhill, the Steelers that are going downhill, and the Ravens are probably going to win the division, but, the wild card spots are open. No one's really running away with it.
I think it's going to take some time to fix the Cincinnati team. But Dave, you've you've been right about these things in the past, so I'm not ready to count it out just yet.
Hey.
All right. So let's move on to our last mailbag question. A little light question here for this one, a little fun here. Pat Pitts wants to know who's the better one-hit wonder, Jeremy Lin or Peyton Hillis?
Jeremy Lin, Peyton Hillis, because Jeremy Lin wasn't a one-year wonder. Linsanity might have been a one-year wonder, but he had an illustrious career. He's got a ring. It's Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, I agree.
Peyton Hillis played a while, but we only knew about him for a year or two.
I think Peyton.
He was on the cover of Madden.
As you say, Peyton Hillis was a meme as a meme itself.
He was one of the first memes.
Peyton Hillis was an OG meme, but Linsanity was like a meme movement.
They were around the same time too. I think 2012, 2013.
Yeah, right around the same time. Something fun to think about. All right, let's cut it there for mailbag and let's move on to the judges' trivia question of the week.
Ew.
All right, gentlemen.
No one was able to secure the bag and save themselves on podcast fees last week when I was out, huh?
Secure the bag.
I was close.
You
I
were
had a couple hits. I got
boys,
the year on my own. Basically.
Yeah, it's true.
You did very well, David. You did very well. All right. To keep it in season, I think judges letting up a little bit on us, so it's a little more topical. The category for this question is hockey. Boy, super simple. Name 3 active NHL players who won the Beanpot tournament.
Chris Kreider.
It's one.
Kevin Hayes.
Kevin Hayes.
Everyone talked at once. Lawrence, go ahead.
I think we all said Kevin Hayes.
Kevin Hayes, Bill Arnold.
I do not have Bill Arnold, but Kevin Hayes and Chris Kreider are both
Alex
correct.
Tuck.
Jimmy V.
Alex Tuck and Jimmy Vesey are both incorrect.
Huh. Does Matt Gilroy still play in the NHL?
Say it, Lawrence.
Gaudreau.
Congratulations, boys.
Yeah.
Kevin Hayes. There's 2 more if you boys want to go for it. But
Matt Gilroy still playing in the NHL.
Matt Gilroy does not play in the NHL. Matt Gilroy plays in Europe. What was that, Ryan?
Corey Schneider.
Corey Schneider's incorrect.
Is Bill Arnold really not correct?
I don't.
He's on the Stockton Heat. He got demoted.
Yeah, so did Jimmy Hayes.
Where did Corey Schneider play?
Corey Schneider played at BC.
Really? Wow.
You didn't want to be Paul with them?
Judge didn't have Corey Schneider as an answer. Oh, also, he also doesn't count as an active NHLer.
Maybe that's why. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Corey Schneider was on one of those teams.
I think that's where he's going for. There's 2 more that Judge listed for me, so.
Defenseman?
One of them. Wait.
Noah Hannafin?
Is he a defenseman? No, Hannafin.
Charlie McAvoy.
No, I'm going to make sure this guy's a defenseman because he very well could not be.
Matt Grzelcyk.
Keep guessing.
Matt Grzelcyk.
Is he
Grzelcyk is correct.
Boom.
Is Grzelcyk a defenseman? Yeah, okay.
Grzelcyk is a defenseman.
Where did Grzelcyk play?
There we go. Okay.
Grzelcyk was a BU kid. He was part of those teams with actually no, he was a little older. Never mind. Grzelcyk was
There's
a BU
one
kid.
more that you guys can get. I kicked myself when I didn't get this one.
Can you tell me the conference?
Like of the NHL?
Yes.
The West. There's your little tip.
Shameless hint.
Hexy, nothing?
Ryan Donato didn't win one with Harvard.
Ryan Donato did not win one.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
I don't think this school has been said yet.
Northeastern
What's a Northeastern?
or BU?
Didn't Grizzly go to BU?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I was confused. So it has to be Northeastern. Northeastern or Harvard.
It's not that BC team? We're not missing someone from there?
Don't believe so. At least not the guy I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
Yeah, spit it out.
Current Vancouver Canuck Adam Gaudette.
I said I thought it was someone on the Canucks.
I wouldn't have
Would not
got it.
have guessed Adam Gaudette, though. No.
So
I
it's
knew-
Gaudreau, Hayes,
Kreider, Grizzlick, and Gaudette.
Kreider, Grzelcyk,
I
Gaudette.
got
was close.
Kreider and Hockey by myself. I got Johnny Hockey I got Kevin Hayes and Johnny Hockey by myself. I missed the other 3. But if I had
We had
anyone
a conversation in our group chat about how Chris Kreider won a Beanpot this weekend.
Yeah, no, he texted us, and I said, "Oh my God,
Did?
Chris Kreider was on that
Oh,
team."
not our group chat.
Maybe it was the one my father then.
I talked about Chris Kreider being traded.
The defenseman from that Boston College team that I was thinking of was Brian Dumoulin.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Because I told David this. Actually, no, yeah, David, we did talk about this. Talking about how Kreider was on that team, and him and Johnny Hockey both didn't make the All Frozen Four team, but Dumoulin was like the MVP. It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, so
Good stuff.
there you go.
Thanks, Judge.
Another point in the quint column for the four guys. Congratulations, boys. I knew you could do it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Four Guys Talking Sports, the podcast. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel. Make sure you don't miss the next episode. So follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you're one of those pesky little audio listeners that doesn't want to see our beautiful faces. We love you anyway, though. The best kinds of listeners. The best kinds of listeners.
Audio is secretly better.
I completely agree.
I don't know. I got a soft spot in my heart for those YouTube videos.
You got a face for radio, Lukester.
That's very hard. Especially since I'm related to you and I look like you. That's
I got a
mean.
face for radio, too.
That's the nicest thing you ever said to him.
All right. For all of us here at Four Guys Talking Sports, my name is Luke Legrano.
I'm Ryan Hicks.
I'm David Acasella.
I'm Lawrence Legrano.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. See you next time. Take care. Lawrence missed his cue.
Spain to you.